lovelies. So today we'll be talking about Google Docs. You know, we've been talking about Google Workspace and we've been dealing with them one after the other. We've treated Gmail, we've treated Google Calendar, we've treated Google Drive. So today we'll be talking about Google Docs. So what is Google Docs? Google Docs is simply defined as a free web-based word processing tool developed by Google that allows users to create, edit, and share documents online. Now, using Google Docs comes with lots and lots of benefits. And those benefits are: one, Google Docs allows for real-time collaboration in the sense that multiple people can be working on the same document at the same time. That is why Google Docs is highly recommended. Now, secondly, it allows for auto-saving of documents in the sense that while working on Google Docs, maybe you're creating a document, you're typing something, and then your system shuts down or your mobile phone goes down. You don't need to be scared of losing your documents because Google Docs automatically saves your documents, saves your work as you are doing it at the same time. So you don't need to be scared of losing your work or losing whatever document you are working on simply because your phone went down or your laptop shut down. Now, thirdly, there are already built-in templates while working on Google Docs. So let's say you want to work on your resume, you can actually work on a resume using a template already simplified by Google Docs. All you just need to do is click on any template of your choice and start working on your resume. You just have to edit the template and start filling in your details. That is why Google Docs is amazing. Now, also, Google Docs allows for sharing and permission because while you're working on a document or even when you're done working on the document, you can share it with anyone, like anyone at all. And you can also grant permission and that particular document can go viral. So even someone you do not know, a stranger you do not know, can have access to that particular document simply because you have granted permission to anyone that has the link to that document. That is why Google Docs is recommended. Lastly, it has cloud-based storage. Now, it aligns with Google Drive in the sense that when you're done fixing your document or when you're done working on a document on Google Docs, you can save that document on your Drive account. So while you're fixing your document, you can save that document to your Google Drive and your work or your document or whatever thing you've created on Google Docs is absolutely safe. You don't need to be scared of losing your document. So as usual, I'll be sharing my screen so we can be able to learn everything we need to know about Google Docs.
So guys, for us to be able to access Google Docs, there are lots and lots of ways to access Google Docs. Firstly, you can access Google Docs through your Google Drive, or you can go through the normal Google sign-in and then you click on Docs, or you go through docs.new where you'll be ushered into a blank space for you to start creating your document, or you go through docs.google where you just be ushered into the Google Workspace. You can choose from the numerous templates that are there, or you start creating your own documents. So we'll click on docs.new. Docs.new. That's how we would sign in. So as usual, I would convert my screen to desktop sites. So I will turn my screen. Now we can be able to see everything we need to work on. So I'll take us through this journey one after the other. About to start creating a document. The first thing we have to do is title this document. It says untitled document. So the first thing we'll do, title this document VA Docs tutorial. Now, it has been saved to Drive automatically. If you want it to be easier for you to locate this document, you can star it here. This is the star icon. I just starred this document, or you can unstar it to anyone you want. So the next thing we'll be talking about is the ruler aspect of this workspace. Now, if you look at this screen, this area, you would see stuff that looks like ruler. Now you can remove it you can actually leave it. Now, just in case you want to remove it, all you just need to do is click on this view menu here. You click on view. Now, ours is on show ruler, so I can just click on this ruler. Now, I clicked on show ruler. I removed that icon, that good tick icon. So that is why there is no ruler here again. So if I go back, click on show ruler, automatically it comes back to the screen. Automatically it comes back to my screen. But if I click back here, click on this, automatically it goes out. The next thing we'll be talking about is the collaborative nature of Google Docs. And this collaborative nature of Google Docs is discussed under 3 modes. We have the editing, the suggesting, and then the viewing mode. Now, for us to discuss the modes of working on Google Docs, we'll click on this area. We'll click on it. Now we have the editing mode, where it allows for another person to edit this document. Now, suggesting mode, the person can bring up suggestions by using this side comments area. And then we have viewing mode, where the person just has to view the document. So you can actually share your document using any of these 3 modes that we've discussed briefly. So the next thing we'll be looking at is how to format our text. How to format our text. So let's say, let me just type something. Let me say VA Docs tutorial. VA Docs tutorial. So let's say I want to format this text. Let's say this is a document I've started creating. I want to format it. All I just have to do is highlight it. Once I've highlighted it, I'll click on format. Now, on this formatting area, it helps us talk about how you want the text to be. Now, we can allow this text to be in bold, italic, underline, any one you want. Now, the paragraph styles, the align and indent area. Let's go back. Align and indent. Now, you can choose the columns you want for your documents. The columns you want for your documents. Now, I just choose one column and this is how my document looks like. Now, for us to look at our text styles, we'll be looking at these icons here. Not this menu here, these icons here. Now, look at normal text, where it allows us to have a title. So let's say I want this to be the title. Now, this is how it can look. So you just choose whatever you want. I'll go back to normal text. Now, I'll go back to this fonts. There are lots and lots of fonts you can choose from. I can choose from this font. I can choose this font. Any font at all. I can choose it to be light. And this is what I'm having here. I can choose any font of my choice. I can even get more fonts by clicking on more fonts. So now these are some of the fonts, the extra fonts we have. I had to change my screen back. So these are some of the extra fonts we have. So let's say I want to use this Montserrat. I'll just click on OK. And it has been applied to this highlighted text. Let's go back. So you just have to choose whatever you want for your texts. Now, I had to click on the 3 icons right here. This is another area where you can deal with. If you want to go through the formatting menu, you just have to click on those 3 dots. Here, it also allows you to bolding this text. I clicked on bolding it. I want to italicize it. I've italicized it. If you want to underline anything you want to do, I'll click on this. So I can just choose any color I want for this text. I have changed the text color. So this is practically how you can play around this area. So this is your align area. Just choose. If I want to number my columns, I can use this numbering section. Now it has numbered it. So all you just basically need to do is choose whatever you want. Just choose whatever you want. I want to increase my font size. I'll click on, let's say I want to increase it to 30. Okay, 24. I've basically increased it. So let's go further. I want to increase it to like 72. I have increased it. And while working on this, ensure you still maintain professionalism. The essence of this tutorial is for you to know the tools you can use. It's not for you to apply too much beautification. Just make sure you maintain professionalism. So the next thing we'll be looking at is how to get table of contents. So let's say I'm working on a project, especially for students that have project works to deal on, and your project work, you have to get your table of contents that serves as a guide for you. So how do you get table of contents? All you just need to do is click on this insert menu here. Click on this insert menu. We'll go down. I'll just take us down. Now you can see table of contents just here. Table of contents. I'll click on this table of contents here. Now, I can choose how I want my table of contents to be. Do I want them to be numbered this way or this way or this way? I'm currently using this. If you look at the text I already typed on this workspace, I'm currently using this. So that's why you're seeing this blue tick. So the next thing we'll be looking at is how to insert images. Let's say I'm working on an ebook that I need to insert images to my work. So all I need to do is click on this insert. Once I've clicked on insert, now I can click on this image icon here. Now it's giving me options. I can upload from my computer. I can search the web for an image. So once I click on search the web, I would be directed to Google, where I can be able to search for any image I need. Now I can upload an image from my drive, from my pictures. Let's say search the web. Now I clicked on search the web and it's saying I should search in Google Images. Now I search for picture of a table. Now these are tables that I have been given options to choose from. So let's say I want to choose this one. I would click on this insert. Now this is the table I selected. So that is how choosing images from the web looks like. That is how it works. So let's still go back to this our insert menu. Click on insert. Now let's say we want to work with a table. Let's say we want our work to be in tabular form. I'll click on this table. Now this is where you can be able to choose the rows and columns that you. Let's go back. So let's say we are choosing 2 rows. Remember, I first chose one large row. Now I now chose another row, like 2 rows inside that one large row. So that is how this will appear. If you want to work with any tabular instruction given to you by your clients, this is where you can choose your tables from. The number of rows you want, the number of columns you want them to have. This is where you can choose them from. The next thing we'll be talking about is drawing. Now, this new allows you to create your own image. It allows you to create your own image, not directly from Drive. This is the empty space where you can create your own image. Now, with these icons here, you can be able to create a beautiful image to represent whatever you have in your mind. But let's say I don't want to work with this new space. All I just need to do is click from Drive and I'll be directed to my Drive, my Google Drive, for me to choose an image. So the next thing we'll be looking at still from this insert menu is charts. If you want your work to be like a chart, a bar chart, pie charts, column. This is where you make your selection. Also, if you want to work from Google Sheets, this is also, you just click on this from Sheets and you will be directed accordingly. So the next thing we'll be looking at is how to insert headers and footers. So we'll still go back to our insert here. We'll go down a little bit. Now this is how to insert your headers and your footers. I'm done working. I'm done. This is what I want to share with my teammates or whoever I want to share it with. So I'll just click on this human sign that has a plus here. I'll click on it. Now on this space, I can be able to impute the email address of whoever I want to share it with, as many as possible. I can be able to impute the person's email address. Now let's say I created an ebook. I want to make that ebook free of charge. I want everybody and anybody that comes across my link to be able to access the ebook. All I just need to do is click on this sign here. Click on it here. Now, I can be able to grant access to people from this area. So I click on this drop down menu. So if I click on anyone with the link, anyone that has the link to these documents can be able to access it. But if I don't want anybody with the link to access these documents, I will leave it unrestricted. So far it's unrestricted. Nobody can be able to access it unless I grant them specific permission. So the next one we'll be looking at is messaging collaborators. So let's go to our file menu. So let's assume I am sending this document to like 10 persons. And out of those 10 persons, I want to specifically email just 2 or 3 persons. I would go to this file here. I'll click on this file. Once I've clicked on this file, I'll click on email. Because I don't have any collaborator yet on this document, that is why it is not active for us to select. But let's say I've been able to select people from this area. Now this will be active for us to select, and I can be able to select the number of collaborators I want to email privately. So these specific persons that I am emailing privately are the ones that will receive my message as an email, and not the other ones. Now, the other ones are receiving the documents, but these ones are receiving a private email from me. More like a private message from me. So the next thing we'll be looking at is having your email as an attachment. So let's say I want to email this file. I'll click on email this file. Now, it's asking to whoever I want to send this email to. I would impute the person's email address. Now, impute my little message here. Once I'm able to impute my little message here, I can be able to send an email to the person. So the next thing we'll look at is how to download these documents we are working on as a file. So we'll go back to our file menu, click on download. Now, from here, you can be able to select how to save up or how to download your documents. Preferably download as a PDF, because most documents, when you're sending it to people, more like your job application, your cover letter, it's better sent as a PDF and not as a Word document. But if you want to send as a Word document, you can choose this docs here. So this is how to download your file or your documents whenever you are done. If we want to rename this, our VA Docs tutorial, if we want to rename it, we click on rename. Now, let's assume that we've been working on these documents, we've been creating different versions, we've edited this document multiple times, and we just want to have a version history. Now, let's say, for example, I am applying for the role of a virtual assistant, and then my cover letter, because I need to tweak this cover letter to fit into the specific job roles. Okay, let's say for example, as a virtual assistant, I am applying to a job as a customer service personnel. I'm applying as an administrative assistant. I'm applying as an executive assistant, and these roles have various descriptions. So I need to tweak my cover letter to suit each and every one of these rows. So I just need to come to this file, go down, click on version history. If I want to see my version history, I'll click on see version history. So let's say one cover letter, I've tweaked it to suit the role of a customer support, tweaked it to fit the role of a personal assistant, tweaked it to fit the role of an executive assistant. I'll be able to see the version history here once I activate this version history. So let's look at page setup. I'll click on file, click on page setup. Now this is where you are able to set up your page. Whatever thing you want to be on this page, whether on the whole document, on a particular section, you just have to set it up here and then click on OK. Once you click on OK, you are good to go. Now, one beautiful thing about working on Google Docs is it allows you to check your grammar and your spellings. So all you just need to do is click on tools here, go to the tools menu. Now click on spelling and grammar. Once you click on spelling and grammar, now spelling and grammar check is activated for me. It can also show me my spelling suggestions, grammar suggestions. So let's look at how to count our words. So we just click on this word count here. Remember, I clicked on tools. So click on word count. Now, let's assume that as I'm typing my documents, I want to display the number of words I'm working on. So let's say I am applying for a grant, and the grant says in not less than 500 words, describe yourself. Now, I don't want to go below 500 words. All I just need to do is click on display word count while typing, then click on OK. So once I click on OK, I already have 0 words. So as I'm typing, it will be counting from here. So I don't need to go below 500 words because this word count here would act as a guide for me. Another thing we can do is let's say you're so tired to type, you can use voice typing. We are on the tools menu. You can use voice typing. While on this voice typing, all you just need to do is click on this microphone and start talking. So as you're talking, Google Docs is reflecting it in a written format for you. So that is basically everything you need to know as a beginner using Google Docs.
So besties, how was the journey on Google Docs? I hope you enjoyed exploring Google Docs with me. I hope you enjoyed our journey with Google Docs. So why don't you get started? Get your hands working on Google Docs. Start working on a document. Start creating documents. Start editing your documents and start sharing them. Practice makes perfect. Remember, I am rooting for you and I know you will definitely succeed. Bye, and I love you.